Hello, my CNC brothers and sisters. Happy Wednesday. And it's time for another CNC Wednesday night hangout where you get to ask your CNC questions. And I will do my best to answer the questions. No special guests tonight. Little old me, Liberty, and Julianne are in the background. Bring them out in just a little bit. But first of all, I just want to say if you have your questions, bring your questions. Make sure you put question marks in front of them. And that way the ladies can tag that for me. And let's say some hellos. So we got Joey Sawdust going on there, and it's scrolling. Wicker West Valia, and Jetty. What's going on, Jetty? Rich, and Carrie, Jim, Rocco, Constantine. Okay. And David Savage, what's going on there, brother? From Ohio, Lancaster, Ohio. I believe that is a little bit on the north end of Ohio. And Bruce, Pete, Ralph, John, Ed, Agent 110, or Ed Agers, sorry, 110. Yeah, okay. Got a bunch of people coming on, popping on board. Very, very cool. So tonight is a general forum. CNC thing where we're just I'll take whatever questions you can bring out. And we are now in the works of starting to work on getting more guests back on board. We have Kyle Ely, the Vectric Master. He's coming on next week. And then we got Kevin from Shapoco, Carbide 3D. He is going to come on and talk to you guys who have your Shapoco machine and work with Carbide 3D and Carbide Motion. And then we're going to work on, we got several people coming that we're talking to right now, and a couple of female creators as well. So before we get started, just want to bring the ladies out and make sure they're ready. Yeah, they're ready. Okay, so we got Liberty right there, and Julianne. And are you wearing your Vectric sweatshirt?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Julianne's the odd girl out here.
I got blue on. Does that count?
Yeah, well, maybe I'll sell you mine.
Yeah.
Anyway, the ladies will be in the background here, but first I just want to kind of rehash about last week. For those of you who were on the live, you know that we were at Workbench Con, and we were talking to Greg from STL Woodworking and Cody, for the guy that makes the Jenny bits. And it was just kind of a round table discussion, a lot of fun. And Julianne was up here and Liberty was right next to me and she was handling all the comments. It just worked out so well. But Workbench Con all the way around, that was such a fun time. And I got to tell you, Liberty, I don't even have to worry about her. She just knows what to do. She's like this little social butterfly. And she comes back with lists of names and stuff like that. It's just you're going to be seeing more Liberty as time goes on. And we got the next show is Texas Woodworking Fest. And when is that, Julianne?
September 13th and 14th.
Okay. Liberty. There we go.
Thank you.
I'm on it.
Yeah, I know you're on it. You're all over it. Okay. So anyway, I think on that one, at least Liberty and Julianne are going. So I may bum out to that one, or I may just let the ladies handle it. They got it under control, and I'll just take care of things here. I'll take care of all the accounting and the shipping, and that will work out. That'll fly over like a lead balloon.
You're not going to touch my shipping.
I'm going to have to ask that things just pause for the time.
Right. So anyway, okay. So Julianne will be in the background. She's going to check on the comments and make sure your questions are taken care of or starred so I can catch them. And I want to bring Liberty out for a little bit, talk about Workbench Con and what that was about and what you thought about it. This is the second thing I've taken you to. I took you to the Vectric one.
Yep.
And then we went to Workbench Con. So talk about Workbench Con.
Workbench Con, it's amazing. Like, I honestly, I heard very, very great things about their sessions, but I only attended one session. Because I spent the entire time just getting to meet some amazing creators, influencers, carvers, everybody from all different like spectrums of this realm. And the amount of people who will just kind of look at me and be like, you know what, I'll support you, young little thing. And I'm okay with that. Like, it means a lot when these people come up and they'll give me all this advice, and they don't realize that half of what I've learned has been from these conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. And the funniest thing was when we got there and I'm starting to walk through and people are asking me, where's Liberty? Where's Julianne? Is Liberty here? Yeah, I mean, more people know you because you've made some videos, but they're asking me about you guys. I'm like, wait a minute, what about me? So anyway, yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. And unfortunately, Workbench Con is going on a pause. So not sure, gonna have to do something on that end. So basically what that's meaning is it's not going to be happening next year, and perhaps not the year after that, and perhaps not after that. So one of the funny things was at the very end they do a drawing or several drawings out of a basket. I think everybody puts their stickers in, and both Liberty and I were out of the room and they actually picked the IDC Woodcraft sticker.
Yep.
And we would have won a spindle, but they had to move on. I mean, I guess I'm really okay with it because, I mean, we got all the equipment, but they're taking care of us, PWI. Also, just from that, we've been making a lot of contacts because I want to get a lot more stuff on the IDC Woodcraft store. And so Liberty's been doing a lot of contacting with people on that. And so exciting things that are going to be coming up on the store. So who in the chat was at Workbench Con? By the way, Workbench Con is basically Workbench connection. Woodworkers, CNCers, creators, they get together and chew the fat. So make put in a comment in the comments if you're at Workbench Con. I know Greg, you're out there. You were at Workbench Con.
Yep, Greg was
talked
out
to him
there
quite a few times, and we saw Ryan was there. Ryan from Cutting It Close, and yep. Hamilton from CNC with me. Kyle.
Jack. Oh, Kyle. Yep.
Yep. Kyle was there. Andy Bird.
Yeah.
There were quite a few others.
The Clack Shack, the one that pops in my head. He's great. He's hilarious.
Okay. Yeah, but you know who we were hanging out with for a little while, and they had their regular party at the end of the night on Saturday night. So we hung out, and that was a lot of fun. Karaoke, and I learned that my karaoke voice is not what it used to be, but who cares? All right, who was there? Looks like nobody was there in the feed.
I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't seen Christina yet on here.
Yeah. Remember, we're going to be doing a giveaway. By the way, we will be doing a giveaway here at some point when the ladies take over the floor. And okay, all right. Maybe Liberty. I might start bringing you up, see if you field some of these questions. Since we had a little chit chat afterwards, and I asked Liberty, because she was really engaged with a lot of people. A lot of people came back to me and talked to me about her. And I thought, maybe I need to get Liberty more in the spotlight. And so we talked a little bit. And she, what do you think about being in the spotlight? Oh, first of all, let's see what others say. Would you want to see Liberty more in the spotlight in content and around? I would love to see what folks have to say about that. In the meantime, we got some new products we're going to be releasing. I expect the ER collets and collet nuts to be releasing the end of this week. So it's ER 11, 16s, 20, and 25, and we'll have all the collet sizes for each one. 3/16, 3/8, what have you. Oh yeah, boy, look at that, Liberty. They want you out there. Okay, more Liberty. That's what we need. More Liberty. Very cool. Very cool.
All right.
All right. Well.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I see a comment I need to respond to. I actually messaged my partner about this. I said a customer sent me a goodie back in their returned bit, and I believe he just commented because I couldn't remember who sent it back. I think I've got the package still sitting next to my desk. Like, I need to contact him. But I was so happy to actually get a little treat of my own. It was so neat. Now I know how my customers feel.
You mean like some candy?
Yeah, like a little blueberry cookies.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yep.
And that's the interesting thing about that is you'll never forget that.
No.
Right. And that's the cool thing about sending little packs of candy. It's just different. And the little notes, it's just different. You just don't forget that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Well, this is a question I want to answer before you go into background. So Donald said, is Kyle's course accredited by Vectric? Let's put it this way. Every show we go to, every show we go to, Vectric puts Kyle on stage. Right. He is the only one with the course. He's very tight with them. He's a beta tester with them. And he's the only one that has a Vectric course out there. So Vectric really doesn't have an accreditation, but he is like the formal trainer for Vectric, basically, kind of unofficial formal trainer for Vectric.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, both of the events that I've been to, they use him to represent him. Like you said, they put him up on stage and they put him up there like, he's our man. And yeah, I don't see one without the other. I don't see one of them without the other. They're always, if they had a certificate, I think they would certificate his course. But
I would think so.
I think this is the equivalency that we'll get from them. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Julianne, throw Kyle's course in the comments. And by the way, anybody who's not been here before, when I asked the ladies to do something, we all have to take a drink. And too bad I don't have the drink that I had last week, which is a beer. The 420. Anyway, so Liberty. So I want Liberty to talk about for all the Vectric users out there. Many people already know about this. That Kyle has a course, Kyle Ely, and it's called Learn Your CNC, and it's basically a full-blown course. Covers she'll tell you because she's been through a lot of the course, and that is how she's put it this way. Liberty knows things I don't know about Vectric, but take the floor, speak about Kyle's course for those people. The reason I'm bringing this up is because if you are new to this kind of software and it's designing, the first thing you have to know is how to design. If you're going to make something on a CNC router, you have to know how to design, and you have to understand the nuances of design. A lot of times people like to DIY figure out how to work with the design software, and it doesn't work that well that way when it comes to the software. But talk about Kyle's course.
Yeah, so honestly, I love Kyle's course, and I'm actually jumping back into a review of it because I will be carving more soon. So Kyle's course is very, very broken down. And the thing that I love about it is you can really take it at any pace. He doesn't ever leave you hanging with the assumption that you know. One of the things I was explaining to somebody the other day was even when he's using the shorthand keys, so like, Control C for copy, Control V for paste, like that's simple. That's on a lot of computers, things like that. He will within that be like, okay, so you can use Control C to copy, or you can go up here every single time. He doesn't assume that you know. He assumes that you want to learn and that you want to build upon that learning. And it builds so well. There's so many videos. You literally get to learn the ins and outs. And I think the best thing is that you can refer back to that. So you can go over all of it, and then you're like, I'm having trouble, with the drawn lines. I don't know. You go back and you see his functions in different ways. He uses that to the best of his ability and your ability and what you need. So you take it as your time. I don't recommend anything other than going to his course first before getting frustrated and giving up.
Yeah. You can run into lots of errors in your design follow up because you've missed something that's just kind of basic that you should know. So, yeah. All right, well, cool. And there will be a link in the comments and also down the description of the video for his course. And always recommend getting educated for that stuff. All right, Lib, I'm going to bump you back. And before I do, I just want to show you from Joey's comment. It says, give me Liberty or give me Garrett.
That's a first. That is a first. I need to send this man some extra M&Ms. That is a first.
Yeah, that's cool. And I don't like the word my name is replaced, which is the normal saying is give me liberty or give me death or something like that, right? It's like, great. Thanks, Joey. All right. Okay, Lib. Yeah, I may see. We're gonna start testing you.
All right.
You're ready to be tested, and we'll do it.
Find out.
Okay. All right. Okay. I want to just say this came in the mail today from our CNC brother Scott, IDC bottle opener, and you see he's got a penny on there, right? So this, I think this idea came from Ryan Derpella's Cutting It Close, one of his videos. It's just something you can make, and yeah, it's just a little bottle opener. Very cool. Put IDC on it from our brother Scott. So thank you, Scott. And he made this out of the Bamex wood, which is really nice wood to work with. This is bamboo ply, and I made for those of you who haven't seen it, I made this marble maze out of that, and did three videos on how to make this marble maze. It walks a deep dive, walks through the design process in the first video, the tool path setup in the second video, and setting up on the machine in the third video. And I put all that together in a file, G-code, design, instructions. You pretty much got everything, and the instructions tell you all the tools you need and what have you. So that will be linked in the description as well if you want to, in the comments and in the description. So just because I said that, I'm going to take a sip. What are some of the other comments going on here? So, it's good to see you, Daniel and Mark. All right, let's scroll down here, and I guess I should start getting into some of these. So TP said he thinks of Liberty every time I hear the Liberty Mutual commercials. That's pretty funny. Hey, we got T-Track coming out too. So that's going to be a couple weeks. T-Track for your CNC router. And I redesigned that T-Track. Believe it or not, T-Track, I found problems with T-Tracks from other companies. And the main problem is either they'll work with a 5/16 bolt or they'll work with a 1/4 inch bolt. But they won't work with both. So I designed it for both. And I also designed it to make sure it would fit the hex head bolts too, as opposed to those little T-bolts. All right, let's see what we do. What we got going on here. And Dan, so Dan said, IDC, this is to all of us, I guess. Thank you for being such an awesome company. I broke a bit and I sent you a message and took care of it just like you promised. I even got mine, my more M&Ms. All right, thanks. Well, you're welcome, brother. IDC Woodcraft has a 90-day, you break it, we'll replace it, guarantee, right? Accidents happen. And we want to kind of make sure that it's frustrating when you have to buy one and you break one and then you got to go buy another one especially when you're green, when you're brand new. All right, let's see what we've got in questions. Gary Lynn, brother, first one up. All right. Last week, I mentioned having my own venue with manufacturers, artists, show and tell, Q&A. What a fantastic idea. They used to be have one in Detroit, but they don't have one. Haven't had one in a year. You're in 1,000%. Okay, so yeah. So at the live last week, so all of us, Kyle and Andy Bird and a bunch of us, we've talked about starting an actual CNC kind of show like the Workbench Con. And because Workbench Con is possibly ending for good, it is something that we really need to focus on. And I know that our brother Kyle Ely is going to be moving to Vegas, so we actually talked about maybe doing it in Vegas, so which would be kind of cool. All right. So we got somebody that's vouched for doing that, and I'm sure that our brother Greg would be on board as well as a bunch of other people. I know they are. Greg was actually part of that conversation too. All right, Butch said, have I considered the people from Legacy Woodworking to share and discuss their machines? Actually, you know what? Get them on the list. Shoot, what's his name? I've talked to him a couple times, several times. Put Legacy on the list of people to call and get on the live. So yes, Butch, we will certainly get them on there. I want to get everybody on here. When I was talking to Kevin at Workbench Con, we talked for a long time, and when I met him there, I said, I've been wanting to get a hold of you guys because I want to get you on the live show. He came up to me later and says, Garrett, you're an alt mill guy. Why do you want Shapeoko? And as I said, that I'm not about laser focus. IDC is a company that's meant to be global, like an ecosystem. And I've had to kind of reevaluate and make sure that I unfocus myself, in a biased way, right? Because it's a community. I mean, they're all good machines, right? Anyway, it was a good conversation with him, and when we when I got done answering a question, he said, "You know what? That was a really good answer." So, all right. So, Kevin from Shapeoko will be on here at the end of the month. So, John, let's see. Okay, last week I showed how to resize the art work in VCarve. Is it the same process if you previously created a VCarve file, say last week, now you decide to make it smaller, so you open the saved file? So yeah, so you can resize your stuff anytime you want. It doesn't really matter, because when you open a file back up, it's all the same stuff, and you can continue to edit the thing. So there is no limit to when you can resize. No time limit, time restrictions. I will have to say. All right, Russell is a Shapeoko 5 and was wondering about tramming the carbide materials mentioned, but it did not go into depth as far as I can find. Is there anything you need to be aware of that is specific to your CNC? So, number one, come at the end of the month, right? We will send an email out. If you're on the CNC Insiders email list, we will email you that we got Kevin coming on with Shapeoko. And for you, any of you Shapeoko owners, I believe, I don't know if Greg has one, Greg from STL. But anyway, the Shapeoko owners, if there's anything to take into account when tramming the machine, make sure you help him out on that comment. All right. And as far as your questions, because I only have a few questions in the queue, otherwise we're all going to come out here and talk, and the night's going to end a little early. Get your questions out there. Let's see what we can answer here. All right. From Brian, says, Garrett, wanting to do blind dovetails using vertical work holding. Do I have any suggestions for design and tool paths? Honestly, I do not, because I have not done any dovetails. So folks who have done dovetails, where you've held your project like that, you've your CNC router so you can cut the dovetail on the end. Yeah, give them suggestions for the design tool paths. That's something I have to figure out. I think I might not. But we do need to get dovetail bits online in IDC, and we are going to start working on a thread mill as well. We've got some 1/2-inch tooling coming in. We got 3/8-inch tooling coming in, and we will do when we start to get. I think it's next week. Once we get this track online, we are going to do kind of a CNC Insiders kind of micro release. So basically, when we have a major new release, like we are going to be having probably in 2 to 3 months, that's going to be like, if you're on the insiders list, you will get a 15% discount on that product for a limited time. And I'm going to bring the ladies back out. We're going to talk a little bit about our new product without giving anything away. We're talking about what we're doing on this thing. We're coming up with the branding, and we're really talking about this. So speak to it, Julianne, since you haven't talked a lot yet.
Oh, gosh. Speak to it, he says. Well, aside from getting handed a page that had millions upon millions of names listed on it that I couldn't pick from.
Oh, you're talking about the identity names, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of new stuff that we've got coming. So specifically,
I'm thinking I'm gonna assume he's referencing the one we got the page of, but
yeah,
I was curious about that as well, because we've got like probably 4 different boxes behind him that are also right behind the one he's wanting us to reference.
I know I had to move some boxes out of view because I knew that he'd be sitting at my desk, so those boxes are shoved in beside my couch.
Okay, there we go.
To hide some things.
Oh, over there. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something I don't even know about?
No, well, that's that. You know about that. You just haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, okay. Well, if we get to that point, then I know I can take a 3-month vacation.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. So we're coming out with a new router bit, and it is going to be a router bit that you didn't know you needed to have. It's going to totally different bit. You're going to want it. Anyway, so we got a lot of marketing stuff to do, the packaging stuff we have to do, the design work still. CNC Insiders will get a 15% discount on that thing. That one's going to hurt because that's an expensive bit. Even it's really pricey bit for us too. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Okay, cool. All right, ladies, park in the back. Folks, we got a giveaway coming up soon. So whenever the ladies decide to make it happen, we're only 20, 30 minutes in. Okay. Tim, what was the wood show you mentioned in Texas? So it's the Texas Woodworking Fest. And September, right? So it's supposed to be bigger than Workbench Con. Someone said there's about 2,000 people that tend to show up there. So that'll be a good one. And IDC Woodcraft will be a sponsor there. So looking forward to doing our first sponsorship at a show like that. So we have some planning to do there, and some ladies are going to start talking about that one too. All right, cool. Texas Woodworking Fest. And John says, where can you get the T-Track I designed? Okay, so Julianne, I'm going to bring you on board. Well, I'll bring both ladies on board because they are the ones that manage this whole stuff. Bring them back. When do we think that the T-Track will be released?
I'd say we get ER Collets online the end of this week. And T-Track, we should be able to get going, if not the week after, to 2-ish weeks. I want to say.
My only concern is we do have to figure out a little bit more with our boxes from what I heard. So I would say give us 2 weeks.
Yeah. The paper that we have to wrap and then the way we have to position them in these large, long boxes it's a feat within itself. So especially putting the M&Ms in there where they won't get lost.
Well, you can always put M&Ms. You can take them out of the package and slide them down the track.
There we go.
Way they can just
distribution system.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. So we're going to come out with 2 foot, 3 foot, and 4 foot, and you'll get the screws for them as well. And speaking of T-Track, all right, ladies, bump you back. The way you figure out how many tracks you should get for your machine, you want about a 6-inch distance, some maybe even 4, but here's the way I figure it out. You measure the width of your machine, the width of the working space, the actual cutting space, and then divide that by 6 for 6-inch gap. And then that number, the answer to that will give you the number of tracks that you need to get. If you want a 5-inch gap, then you divide it by 5. And 4-inch gap, you divide it by 4. It is kind of nice to put them closer together, like maybe 4 or 5 inches, but I tend to go with 6. So, right. And so where can you get them? You'll be able to get them at IDC Woodcraft. And that will be part of this kind of what we call a warmer release. So we've got other products in. We didn't really announce them. Usually when we get the brand new big announcements, 15% off. This one will probably do it 10% on the new products that have come online or coming online, like the ER collets, the Ripper and the Slayer, which are the big brothers to the Hog and the Beast. So those are 3/8 roughers and 1/2-inch roughers. Brian, can you change a 2.5 drawing that you purchase so you can carve certain areas or the file? So I think you can chop away certain areas, aspects of a carve. You actually can. So I'm going to go online and I'm going to show you what I know. So we're going to not go online, but I'm going to share my screen. So share screen, and let me pull this one up. We're going to go with this one right here, and we'll do that. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so this is the card holder. I'm going to be doing videos on this very soon. Actually videoed this entire thing and lost all the files. My fault. Anyway, what that is, I'm going to show you real quick what that is. So that is this guy right here. So I don't have the video out for it yet. This is a card holder, game piece holder I made for my niece Isabel. And I've come to learn that these things people actually sell. So, and they make good gifts. So you see it's got like a raised, couple of raised 2.5 D reliefs on it. I had to do the pocket there and the slots and what have you. So, but we've released the file for this. So I put it together in instructions, give you the design file, the DXF, PDF, all that, the G code for it. And yeah, I just, the instructions tell you everything you need to know. So Julianne will put a link in the description and also put it in the comments if you want to get this file. It's a pretty intense file. It's got 13 different tool paths and it works with 8 different router bits. And we do sell all those bits as a kit. All right, so this design right there is the card holder that I was talking about. So you guys did see the card holder, right? Okay. All right. And so we want to carve certain areas of the file. So the way I'm interpreting your question is that we are going to chop away some of this 3D file. So I'm using version 12, and down at the bottom it says 3D model tools. I have the 3D model selected, and the first icon to the left, it is create a vector boundary around the 3D model. So I'm going to select that. I actually did a video on this that actually shows this whole technique being used that I'm going to show you right now. That video where I did the handle for the beekeeper guy. So if you want to post that. So what we just did, I am going to just move this apple real quick, and it didn't do it. Why didn't it do it? There, click that again, select that, do that. There we go. And it's not putting a boundary around it, probably because it's on the wrong layer. I'm not sure why it didn't put a boundary around that just then. So on a 3D model, what we should be able to do is actually put a boundary on the model. I'm going to go to this one here. You can see this little boundary right there. I'm going to delete that line. And I'm going to select the lily, and I'm going to click this, create a vector boundary around it. There, I did it around that model. So, all right, I'm going to hack this up. I just won't save it. So now what I can do is I can just come in with a line, I'm going to just click a polyline, and I'm going to start it right there on that line. It actually snapped to the line. And we're going to come right down through. What I want to do is on this stem, I want to just keep some of the stem there. And I'm going to come right down to here. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to escape. Now I just created a line right on that 3D model. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip away the rest of this vector over here. I'm going to trim it. If it's going to let me trim. Must not have connected. So let's node, and maybe it didn't snap to the other side. It snapped. Okay. Is it grouped? Yes, it's grouped. That's why I can't. Okay, so we're going to ungroup that, and we are going to trim this side. So if it wants to trim for me, it's opening like it wants to trim. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so I've trimmed. You'll see where I'm getting to in just a second. I'm trimming all that, and now I should have a closed vector all the way around. And now if I tell it to carve it, I'm going to actually create a new 3D toolpath, and we are going to carve on that particular. We're going to carve the model based on that boundary. We're telling it we're going to carve on the selected vectors. And I'm just going to go with the tool and see what we got. And we're calculating, and I'm going to preview this. Preview the visible toolpath. There we go. And you can see it only carved half of that drawing. Half of that 3D model in there. So you can actually put a boundary around it and chop it up. If there's another technique like where you can segment a 3D type of model as 2.5D models, then by all means, put it in the comments. I would love to see what we got going on here. Okay. Anyway, okay. I hope that answered your question. Jim had said he would like to see the CNC woodworking show somewhere a little closer than Vegas, like Indy. So, okay. So we've talked about this. We actually talked about maybe Louisville or Indianapolis, something a little centralized. The one issue with that, and we may still do that. We may still do the issue with that is those are not central hub airports. And so there's not a lot of direct flights to those airports. So almost anyone that we choose, like Cincinnati or Lexington, Indianapolis, or Louisville, you would have to fly to O'Hare and then fly down to here or one of the other major hub airports. So that's one of the limiting factors that can cause people to not come to the show just because they got to switch planes. And it just makes for longer flights. Jim, I hear you. I feel your pain, dude, because I would love to have it here. All the IDC Woodcraft team would love to have it here. We actually, Liberty mentioned, did you say it about Madison, Liberty? Yeah, try to do a little something in Madison, which is not out of the question, by the way. We would just have to come up with a venue. We'd have to come up with the equipment and see if people would actually come out. We wouldn't get a whole lot of people out. We can make it a shindig kind of thing and a kind of a personal training thing. I am working on my shop. I want to pull like a dividing wall out of my shop so I can actually do on live classes directly in my shop. And then we'll have Liberty do some classes too. Yep, she's going, so I can see her in the background there. All right, so Gary, is there anyone that offers Carveco Maker classes? Does Hamilton have Carveco classes? Ladies, look that up for me, please. Not you don't necessarily have to get it now, but if you find out a Carveco class or anyone is doing it, by all means, pop in. But let's look into that because, by the way, we're talking to Carveco too. We want to get them on board. The problem with Carveco is they are 5 hours ahead of us. So that means that right now it is Julianne. I'm going to bring you on. Carveco. Well, yeah. What's the Carveco time difference for those guys? They're in the UK, right?
Yeah, 5 hours.
Okay.
5 hour difference for them.
So if we did a live Carveco show, then we would have to do that at a different time for those guys because it'd be like 1 a.m. in the morning for them.
Little much.
Right. Okay. We will find out about that and ask the same question next week, and we should have an answer on that. Hamilton maybe Hamilton from Learn Your CNC, because I know he's a Carveco guy. So not Learn Your CNC, but CNC with me. Put the link in the comments. So go to the Julianne's going to put the link to Hamilton's CNC with me, and he uses Carveco. So you may want to go check out his CNC with me group. By the way, Kyle Ely's Vectric group, his training, he also has a private group in there. So you have a private group chat that goes on in there so people can help out each other. Okay, we've got a question for Liberty. So I'm going to let you take this one, Liberty.
Okay,
All right.
Is there a way to pre-order bits which are out of stock to be sure to receive them? Some of the bits ending up from your store too fast. Okay, so like some of the bits are leaving too fast before you can get a hold of them. So that is something that we have discussed multiple times. It's something we can discuss further, but at this moment we don't have an option for that. I don't know. Like that's a. We'll talk about it. I'll talk about it with our tech guy and with Julianne. It may be that only some things are available for back order or pre-order, that kind of thing. If we can get anything on, but my current answer is we have looked into it, but not just yet.
Wait a minute, I'm getting my phone.
Okay. So just because, I even have times where there are things where somebody's needing it and I'm out of stock, due to like inventory issues or what have you. And the biggest thing is the wait time on that. A lot of people like to pre-order. A lot of people don't like the wait time for the pre-order. And when we don't have an exact time, that does kind of screw with people a little bit, understandably. And,
Yeah.
But again, I'll discuss it, but right now, no.
Yeah, it's not like we can't do it, but it's some people, like Liberty said, some people get frustrated because when we're doing pre-orders, we can't guarantee a tight time frame on that.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what you do, though. When you get on the website and you go to that particular product, it's going to look like this. All right, you get the gray sold out, and then it's got that little red button down there. And then you hit that red button, and that's going to what it's going to do. It's going to basically notify me when it comes back in stock. And you put your phone number in there and your email in there. And so as soon as the ladies put the item back in stock, you'll get a text.
Yep.
You definitely want to get your phone number in there because that's the fastest way to get notified. And I think does the text give them a link? Do you know?
Like, as far as a link
like
to the specific product?
Yeah.
I don't know what product they're looking for. But if they comment what product they're looking for, I can get them the link to it.
Yeah, I think it would. But Julianne, ask Richard if it does that. All right, another drink. Yes, Julianne. All right. And you know what? I really like getting having the ladies involved in this, and it's such a good team. And it's like I can walk away and I don't have to worry about anything. They got it all under control. And it's like I'll come in and say, hey, but I want to do this and that, and they say, Garrett, we did that 3 weeks ago. All right, let's see. You can yeah. What about that one?
Okay, so the Marble Maze files, 2 different things. So one, when you purchased the bit, I believe it's in your confirmation email is when you first get the file. That's what loses people a lot, is because it's in that first email. So just look through the emails that you've received from us. It is likely that it's in there. If you don't want to do that, just send us an email. Let us know that you can't find it, and we'll get that file to you.
Yep. Okay, so it's this right here. And this is so much fun to make. We released a new bit, the down cutting ball nose bit. And so I released this file with it because it's perfect for this type of project, because the down cutting ball nose, it leaves no tear out and there's no chip out on the thing. And if you ever use a ball nose, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that was a busy 2 weeks. Like 2,500 of those we sold in 4 days.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so there's your answer for that. Just want to take a look at the regular chat for a minute and see what people are doing. IDC, CNC people are together. Yes, we are. All right, questions. Well, the questions are coming in. All right, gonna take in the Vectric updated the tool database. How to back up all my tools so I don't lose all the data I entered. Do you know the answer to that one?
So, like, Vectric updated the tool database, backing up his data so he doesn't lose what he entered. I don't. Like, I know how to add things into your tool database without, like, screwing up what you already have, but I don't know how to, like, secure what you have in there. That's a good question.
Yeah, so I got a video I made a long time ago about that, how to update your database. So let's see if I can do this here. All right, so we're going to go to the tool database. And down at the bottom of the database, the reason the ladies can't see it is because they're seeing the back end and they can see it here. It's just however it's transmitted to YouTube. Who knows what's going on? All right, so down at the bottom of your database, there's a little folder option there, icon, and it says import database. Select that, and then you find the database. So I'm going to go get my database again, database. There it is, and it's the IDC Woodcraft tool database. If you don't have the database, you can get it for free off the IDC Woodcraft website. And this window is going to pop up, and you want to click this second button here that says merge with no overwriting, and that'll populate your stuff without messing up all the other stuff that you've already done. So now I'm going to formally end the screen share on that, and hopefully it will work next time. All right, cool. Let's see if there's something else Liberty can handle. Using Aspire, have you noticed how you will be resize component in Aspire seem to adjust the sizes? E.g., I set it to 10 by 5 and Aspire makes it 9.9 by 5.2. How do you keep this precision intact? Okay, I have actually seen that, and I'm not really sure why it does that. It'll do that on, I've seen it on the 3D models, or the 2.5D relief models. So is Mark on board? Mark Lindsay?
I have not seen him. Nope.
All right. Bob Yak in the house. Hey, Bob, what's going on? Rob, sorry. Yeah, Bob. Robert? Bob. Okay, there we go. Anyway. Okay. I don't know why that happens. And it is kind of frustrating for me too. When I do that, it's like, thank God, I just resized it. I told it to go to a specific size. So I'm not really sure. All right. Ray says, watching video of yours today, but about raised lettering and how not to tear up the letters. It didn't show how to pocket the project without tearing up letters. Any suggestions? Mine was ruined. It didn't show how to pocket the project without tearing up letters. Okay, so got to remember the technique I used on that. So that would be it's a V carving, a flat depth V carving, and everything should be in there. I'll bring this up. Let me close this. And I'm going to have to bring up a new Vectric. So let me just minimize my screens here. Oh, by the way, I gotta show you guys this cool file that Mitz gave me. Let's bring that back up for a moment. There we go. All right, I'll show you this cool file that I got from one of our CNC brothers, and I'm going to carve this for my daughter. Now, let me know if it's a black screen or if it's you can actually see it. So my daughter's all into, can you see it? Okay, my daughter's all into, she likes Harry Potter and vampires and dragons and things like that. So I got this 3D model that he gave me of this dragon breaking through something or other, and I thought it was a really cool carve. We saw that down at the show last week at Workbench Con. All right. Now, it didn't show how to pocket the project without tearing up the letters. All right, so that project was what we call a flat depth V-carve, I believe, if I remember right, if that's the video we were talking about. And I need to open up Vectric again. Wait, open up launch a new Vectric. Let it pop up. And then now I can share my screen. All right, let me know if we got a screen when I pop it up now. Here it comes. And let's make sure we got it on YouTube. Thumbs up when you got it. All right, we're here. Okay. And the question again is, okay, so I'm going to do this really quick. I'm going to create a file. And this one is 24 by 16. I'm just going to roll with it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create let's just make a welcome sign real quick. By the way, you can never go wrong with a welcome sign. Ever. People love welcome signs for some reason or other. They're on every single house. So I went to the text field here, and I'm going to use, I want to set the foundation on this, what he's asking. When you want to do a raised letter sign, and you want to use something like script or real fine lettering, then if you use straight tools like a downcut end mill to cut that out, and you're using really thin lettering, the letters are going to break. You're going to have all kinds of breakage on it. It's going to ruin the project. So we're going to create one with my favorite font, which is called Edwarian Script. And I'm going to just type in welcome. And I'm going to, I think I can make this bold. Yeah, okay. We'll make that bold. And I'm going to upsize this. There we go, just like that. And we're going to center it. Now in Vectric, here's a little keyboard shortcut. You can hit the F9 button, and whatever you have selected will get centered. So I hit the F9, it just moved that technically to the center as far as Vectric sees it based on the bounding box that it created. Those corner points, that's just created what they call a bounding box, and it's centered it around that bounding box. And so we've got this, it's kind of screwy right in there. I'm not sure what's going on there with that letter, but anyway, and I'm going to create a rectangle around that. So I'm going to select rectangle, and I'm going to give it a radius, internal radius. We'll make an internal radius of 1 inch. And I am just simply going to create this rectangle, get out of that, close that. We're going to shrink that down a little bit. There we go. I'm going to hit F9 on that. And so now we have just created a very basic sign. Now, folks, if you are brand new to CNC and you haven't really made a project yet, then I made a video that technically, literally just did this. right? It's a raised letter. This is home sign, and I even give you the file for that. But you saw how fast that was, and I can literally go and carve this thing out now. That's how fast you can design a little sign. And so I'm going to go over the toolpath, and we're going to select the welcome and the rectangle, and we're going to do a V carving. So the icon with the letter V. By the way, all the brown icons over the toolpath are carving toolpaths of some sort or another. And everything else down below that is like management toolpaths or management icons that can do different things. So I'm going to minimize the comment, get that out there. And so we're in the V carve. And first of all, at the very top, we want to set our depth. So I'm going to set it to 0.15. Don't want to go very deep on these things. And then we want to turn on the flat depth. So there's going to be a little checkbox. You can see where my mouse is. There's this little checkbox right under your start depth. Now it's going to be flat depth, right? And sorry, start depth needs to be at 0, flat depth to be 0.15. So what we're doing is we're starting at the surface of the project, and we're setting the limit of the V bit to, it will not go lower than 0.15. And so if we didn't do that, then this thing would cut all the way through the project. And we have I'm going to select the 90-degree ultra smooth cutting 1/4-inch V-bit from IDC Woodcraft. There we go, got that one. And now we need to use a clearance tool. So this big white box, you want to click the check box above it, and then select your bit. I'm going to just go with an 1/8-inch down cutter. This should be the way to do it, where you will not mess up your. It won't get ruined. It shouldn't get ruined because Vectric already knows that this is a V-bit type of profile, and it is going to know how to set up the tools on this. So once I do that, I'm going to go with a raster as opposed to an offset. I like to do raster toolpath, and then we are simply going to calculate that. And it says, go to vector validator. Now, if you get a vector validator error like I just got, and this Edwardian font is going to give that to you, I always ignore the vector validator first. I just go carve the toolpath and look at it and see if the thing carved out okay. And if it carved okay, I don't even mess with the vector validator. So I am just going to continue on, and we are going to preview all toolpaths. All right, so now you can see we got this V-style lettering there. It's got the angle on it. You do it this way, you're not going to have chip out on your project. One of the things you would want to do, though, is it is going to write the toolpath so it does the clearing first. So all the material will be removed, and then it'll come in with the V-bit and then finish up the edges and around the letters of the V-bit. You want to reverse those so that the V-bit is carving first, and then it'll come in and do all the clean out. And the reason is if you have really thin lettering, you just want all the material you can get to support the project. So the way you would do that is down at the lower right. Right now it says V-carve 1, the second toolpath, and the first toolpath is V-carve 1 clear. We want to move the V-carve 1 toolpath above the other one. So I've got it highlighted. It's highlighted gray, and I just simply click the little up arrow right in the lower right, and that's going to reposition those toolpaths. And now that V-bit is going to carve first, and then the clearing will come in behind it. By the way, folks, if you would do me a favor, and if you feel like you get value out of these things, out of the weekly lives that we do, and you haven't done it yet, can you take a minute and do a Google review on IDC Woodcraft? You feel the content I've created is helpful, if you feel the customer service you get from Liberty and Julianne, if the products are good, if you would please take a minute and give us a Google review. Julianne will put a link in the comments of the video, and that will helps me out, helps IDC Woodcraft out. What happens with that is Google likes Google reviews that are good reviews. So just pop in a 5-star review. I would certainly appreciate it. And we will comment on a review. Julianne is the one that takes care of that. So she makes sure all the reviews are looked at, and she'll bring it to our attention when we need to have it brought to our attention. Like, hey, this guy said this, and he really likes what you did there. Looks like we lost Liberty. Sometimes she dropped off there. Ray, watching video of mine today. Okay. Ray's lettering. Okay. Cody, where can I see some tutorials on making jigs for 2-sided projects such as guitars? Well, I would probably go to I don't know. I've never made a guitar, and I've never tried to make it. So really, it's look up 2-sided projects. What I first do is make sure you understand how to do 2-sided projects. And for jigs, I'm assuming that you've already studied that, right? Like you've gone to videos that show you how, like Vectric's video for how to set up a 2-sided project. And after that, anybody that knows of somebody that has made guitars and have done 2-sided, then put in the comments the video or the person that you know that does that. That would be very helpful. All right. And remember, we got a giveaway coming up sometime soon. What do we got? Okay. So Missouri said try Grizzly Tools. Okay. RIP Liberty's computer. Yeah. 10% discount for positive reviews. Might be food for thought. Let's see. Okay. All right. And I have to do our giveaway alone. Uh-oh. Is she gone? We lost her. Did her computer crap out or something?
Yeah, she doesn't have her charging cable because it's at your shop.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, are you still going to, when are you going to do, are you ready to do it, or do I have to keep going?
I kind of, before I lose my morale because I lost my partner in crime, I think I should probably do it now.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to step on the back burner, and I might even pop myself out of the screen. You can tell everybody what to do. It's all yours. The floor is yours.
Oh my gosh. I'm so flattered. All right, everybody. So tonight we decided that we were going to give away some gift cards. So let me go ahead and get us set up for this. And all right. So we are doing 2 $25 gift cards. And here is your code to enter in the YouTube chat. If you've never done one of these before, I haven't seen very many new people comment, so we haven't been doing very much dancing. All you have to do is on YouTube, enter hashtag or £, whatever you know it as, this phrase, and you only have to enter it once. All of you will get a chance to win a $25 IDC Woodcraft gift card. And this is an e-gift card. Let's see. And if you're asking questions at this time, I will tell you it's going to take us a minute to scroll back and find them. Because we've got a lot of comments coming in. Yes, Rich. #2. Yep.
All right. So, yeah, this is our weekly giveaway.
Yep. Fun stuff.
So much fun. I just tell you, I've never know what sometimes I know what the girls are giving away. I like it when it's a surprise. Even to me.
Sometimes we don't even know what it is before we hop on the live. Right. So it's more or less, what do we got? Well, we can give this.
What? Liberty even went for this one.
Ooh.
Go Liberty.
Employee discount, technically. Who are you giving the gift card to?
And she gets employee discount.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have bits. Oh, Ellen needs the shark.
I use that word, employee. I owe Liberty $20. Remind me, Liberty. I got to give Liberty $20, folks. I do not like to use the word employee. I think it's demeaning. Yeah, because we're a team here.
Yep, yep. Let's say I'll have to refresh my screen over here and see exactly how many likes we have. All righty.
Oh, look at that. Liberty said, damn, he got me with the employees comment. I did that with Adam like a year ago. And I pulled out my wallet and gave him $20.
Like, I think you've done it with me too. So,
did I do it with you?
Yeah, because I've gotten $20 for you calling me an employee.
Jeez. I can't stand that term, being an employee, because it's just not that. Okay.
How do you feel about the word staff? Like your staff, or would you prefer just team? Like, where does that stand with you?
Team, because all right, folks, when we're done with that, I mean, if you guys aren't here, it's just not the same, right?
Gotcha.
It's like something's missing. When I was down at the show, people started asking me about Liberty. It's like something's already missing if you guys aren't around.
All right, you guys. I'm going to do our first drawing, and then we'll give everybody else a couple more minutes if you haven't actually entered. All right. Here we go for our first one. We've got 123 people entered. 24. Okay. Here we go.
All right. Keep it coming. All right. First $25 gift card.
Dun, dun, dun.
Did I see Michael Jackson come across her?
You never know.
Rocco! Woo! Rocco!
Garrett has to do the dance and I got to do the writing.
I know. I'll do the dancing and Julianne will do the writing.
Yep.
Rocco, okay. Everybody congrats Rocco.
Woo! All right. So
Team.
I'm gonna give it another minute if you still want to. And note, I should say that this is only for this live part. If you're coming up on this part, you're a little behind this, you won't be able to enter the actual code, because I've seen a couple people do that. All right.
Rocco. All right.
So all you have to do is email us or hop on the IDC Woodcraft website for our contact form and put Wednesday winner as your subject line. And the email it'll go to is garrett@idcwoodcraft.com. Kimberly said, dancing with a banana sounds like a meme in the works.
Yeah.
I missed that. I was on a different screen. I didn't get, you all got to enjoy that. I did not. All right, let's see.
That's so good. Got to do the second one, right?
Yep. I am ready to do that. Any last minute people? We have 130 entries right now. I'll wait to see if I see a number movement.
Pound hashtag gimme. Give me.
Yep. I couldn't come up with anything just exciting for a code tonight. It just wasn't happening. That was about as crafty as I got.
And don't forget to leave a Google review.
I love reading those. They are awesome.
Really nice to see those reviews too. We got really, really nice reviews.
Very nice.
All right. Next $25 gift card. Let it rock.
All right. Here we go. Andy Chapman.
Andy is the winner. Andy. All right, cool.
All right, kudos.
Very, very cool. Make sure you
Awesome.
email us. Take care of the email right now.
Yeah, because I hop on right after and find it.
So cool. So cool. Congratulations, folks, for the winners this time. There's a comment here from Ronnie. It said, Garrett, it's really nice that you think highly of your team.
Mhm.
I couldn't do it without them. They get the biggest hearts on the planet. Right? It's I totally trust them. Yeah. Anyway, okay, cool.
I'm going to throw that Google review link for us back in the chat real quick because I had some questions on it.
Leave a Google review now that the fun is done. All right, I'm going to put you in the back there. Thanks, Julianne. All right. Constantine. Okay. Any way to pre-order bits that are out of stock? Okay, I think we've already seen this and we've talked about that. Yeah, we already answered that one. I must not have gotten that off the queue. John, you're still struggling with your new alt mill. Loaded the G-code file, removed your bit, clicked run job. The spindle started to turn on and moved about 2/3 and then 2/3 Y and 2/5 X. The spindle stopped. Now no movement. And then he said, using the G-code file from my AltMill 4x4 project. So what I would do, John, just to test that is, I'm assuming that you haven't run any other G-codes or any other files, like create your own quick file and try to run it and see if it runs. And that might mean that there might be something up with the post, though it shouldn't be. I mean, all the alt mills run the same way. So, yeah, put in the comments, and Julianne, watch for his comment, John, if you've run other G-code programs and you had the same issue or you were able to run it out. And I would like to know. Especially, if I'm giving you a G-code file, I want to know if it's going to work. So a little bit of a note. When I give G-code files away, right, I put in the instructions, you always dry run them first. And what that means is you don't put a router bit in it, and you keep your Z set up high, load the G-code program, and let the thing completely run out. And you do that for every G-code because you want to make sure that that G-code is going to run right for your machine. Because there may be various machines have different commands that need to be applied to it as it starts to read the code, and the code has to be written a certain way. And my post that I use for this is very basic. I use the GRBL post, so it doesn't punch in a whole lot of technical stuff, but you may have a machine that needs other information before it starts, and that's why you always do that. Now, since I give this stuff away, I emphasize that, and I don't troubleshoot them because I'm giving you the files away. I'm giving them 10,000 files away. It's getting a little hard to troubleshoot people when they're having challenges on them. But definitely make sure you try to run another G code that you've created and see what happens. William, do they have any shows that like that close to the Ohio area? So I think we've been starting to work up a list for different shows. Julianne has, but I don't know about what's in the Ohio area, and we're not clear on all the shows. But I guess this is something we should probably at some point just kind of keep tabs on and keep a running list. Maybe we can even put that on the website, Julianne. At some point, we'll start putting the various woodworking shows and stuff on the site. That would be kind of handy. Then I can actually go and look myself because I never know what's going on. All right, Jim. Novi at the north side of Detroit as a good size venue. Okay. Used to be called Rock Financial Showplace. Not sure what it's called now. Okay. So something up there. And then let's see, Jared. Just got a question. Garrett, can I please add melamine to the IDC Woodcraft app for using compression bits. If you do, I will do a happy dance. Oh, that alone makes it all worth me doing that. Folks, you want me to get something done, tell me you're going to do a happy dance for me, because I'm always doing a happy dance. And the girls are always doing a happy dance. So I have not messed with melamine on the machine, but I think it's probably worth a try. We should probably do have access. Julianne, you've got access to my Julian's got access to my entire life. She could destroy me if she wanted to. Off Amazon, just find a piece of melamine that's maybe 2 foot by 2 foot. So what he's talking about is IDC Woodcraft has the IDC Woodcraft phone app, right? And this has all the router bits in it on IDC Woodcraft, and it's got all the feeds and speeds for all the router bits. It's got all the specs for every router bit that we carry, and it has all. You can also get your bits right off of here. Some people have asked me, so why would I want a CNC router bit app on my phone? And a week later, he messaged me back and says, "Now I see why." He used it every day he was on this machine. It's a quick reference for your phone. It's got a chip load calculator on there now. We're working up all our chip loads now. We're going to get the chip loads for every bit on here. You can work in metric. It's got the different spindles, like the different trim routers that are on the machines, like Makita, DeWalt. It'll tell you the speed dial setting, all kinds of data. So make sure this will be linked down in the description of the video. Melamine. Okay. And make sure when you order the melamine, that you mark down Jared's name, because I want to make sure that man does me the happy dance when I do this. Okay. Greg, I might have to talk to you on that one, dude. Oh, I will have talked to you. See if you've done any of that. Okay. So just looking at some of the other comments over here that you guys are doing. Okay. From Brian, how do you export a diagnostic file from GSender when a problem occurs during a carve? Okay, so with the GSender software, I can't engage mine right now. Well, I can probably launch it, but I'm not sure if I remember where the setting is at. I'm going to launch my GSender first. I'm not hooked up to a CNC router. GSender is the control software that I recommend for CNC machines that are Gerbil-based machines. It's the one I do videos with and run machines with. And there's a selector in there that I'm looking for right now where it will send back data to GSender when there's an issue. And I have not done it before, but I know there's like an automatic setting in there. And it's when you first install it, you got a checkbox where you can actually check. It says allow CNC labs to monitor the data that's going on with it, to send back information. It's the way they collect information to see how it's performing. And I am looking to see if I can find that. And under general settings, so I don't know. I think I have a meeting with them next Monday, maybe. I can't find it here. I think I got a meeting with them next Monday, so I will have to ask them. No, it won't be. It'll be 2 more weeks. They got some kind of feature where you can export that data. So, all right, Andy. Question: What's the best thing to seal your MDF spoil board with to keep humidity out? Okay. Well, what I like to use is sanding sealer. And with sanding sealer, I like to apply it really light and keep a fan on it. Sanding sealer is water-based, so it'll dry off real quick. It'll soak in because spoil boards are a sponge. That's if you want to if you're not using a vacuum system where you're drawing air through the thing. Folks, if you have other ways that you like to seal your spoil board, from humidity. Make a note of it. One thing I will tell you is definitely when you have a spoil board and you're in an environment that is humidity fluctuations, especially heavy humidity fluctuations, and then a spoil board will swell and contract. And so you want to seal it. The other thing you want to do is you always want to seal the edges of your spoil board. So what I do is I just take my wood glue and I'll run it along a beater along there, and I'll just rub it in with my finger and let it dry, and that will seal the edges of the spoil board. So sanding sealer is what I normally use on the top and the bottom of the board, and whatever else people put in the comments, take note of that. But with sanding sealer, I do it very light coats. Shellac. William likes to use shellac. And Albert just joined in. Hi, Albert. All right, E. Wilson. I'm going to going on partially time off, and am almost done with assembling your machine. Let's see. It worked a lot. Okay. Do I offer coaching? I need to get a good start, and I've made 0 RPMs and 0 cuts. Okay. So we've kind of on and off do one-on-one with CNC. So what I'm going to say here, okay, the first thing, E. Wilson, that you need to do is know that your design software. So I'm assuming if you have not worked with design software and you're using the Vectric, dive into Kyle Ely's course right away, because that will get you started right at the very beginning of the software and take you methodically through the software. And we talked about that earlier. Now, his course is going to be linked down in the description, and Julianne will put a link in the comments. If you have gotten some of your design experience in and you're kind of going to the next step of tool paths, and then you're going into the machine setup. Let's see. Okay. So anyway, back to the question of the coaching. We occasionally do one-on-ones, and when we do that, we will turn that on the website. And so you can go to resources on the website, and you open up the resources menu at the top, and if it says one-on-one, then we probably set up. There should be a button there if we do it, and then you'll get the coaching that way. So there you go. Tim, let's see, if my inlay is very fine, do you use a higher start height for the male portion? Too much disappears when I use the 0.09. Greg from STL, will you answer this question for him, please? So Greg from STL is hoping he's still here. He is very good with inlays, and I'm not seeing him in the feed, so he may have left. I don't do a lot of inlays, but I know Greg does a ton of inlays. I'll go back to your question. Too much disappears when I lose it. So I don't do a lot of inlays. So anybody here that has done inlays where you're doing really fine inlays, then give him a pointer on that. Those are the numbers that I always work with, and I've never really had a problem, but you're having an issue with that number right there. So, William, who do I use for a supplier for the bamboo wood? Julianne, throw the link for the Bamex wood in. She probably already did. So this stuff right here for the marble maze. This stuff is great. I really like this because, I mean, this is all right off the machine. So it's just nice color contrast right off the machine. There's no other finishing. So Julianne's going to put a link for the Bamex. This comes in a 2 foot by 2 foot size material. Really, really nice wood. It's got nice density to it. It just feels good in the hands, nice and smooth. The one thing I like about this stuff, it is very consistent in its thickness. 0.0755. I can tell you when you get yours, it'll be 0.0755 thick. So the link will be in the description and it will be in the comments. Murph's Workshop. How do we get the project setup sheet, the setup checklist? Give them a link for that. Link for that will be put in the comments and the description. So the CNC project setup checklist, I don't have that with me. The one thing I preach, the most important thing you need to pay attention to in your CNC project running is not the actual project carving. It is the setup of the project. There's lots of little steps that you have to go through when you're doing your setup. And all of us have made the mistake of forgetting to reset our Z. And when we change a bit, then we hit the start button, that bit drives down in there. Or forgetting to set the X and Y, or forgetting to check our clamps, or forgetting to blow out the collet. This setup checklist covers all that as you're setting up your project. There's lots of little steps, and you miss one and you set yourself up. So there will be a link there. I suggest you download that and use that. The setup checklist is also available right on the app. So, and you can customize it for yourself on the phone app, the IDC Woodcraft phone app. All right, William, Woodworks. Let's see. When using the surfacing program from CNC, can start to close to the edge in your using the limits like a long mill. Close to the edge if you're using limits like a long mill. So, okay, so what he's talking about is, so when we surface our spoil board, I don't know if I can bring it up here. If I can, then okay. I'm going to share screen. So in the G-Sender software, in many software, there is, Julianne, you'll have to tell me if we are going, I'm going to sharing now. Tell me if this screen share is coming up in YouTube. All right, we're good. Okay, so in the G-Sender control software, which is what you're looking at here, when we go up to the top, there's this little button in the upper right that says surface, and then this program opens up, and you can set up this to surface your machine. And it doesn't really matter what size machine, you set up all the specifications in here. And let's see, can start to close to an edge if you're using the limits like on a long mill. So I'm not quite sure what your question is saying here. What I do, here's how I set this up. It's kind of enables you to set these numbers the most effectively. And so you can do your surfacing to the max possible distance that you can do, especially if you don't have limit switches. So I'm going to stop share and just hit that and the share. Okay. What I like to do, if you've got a long mill or any other machine that does not have the homing switches and doesn't have what we call soft limits. Soft limits are the machine will travel away from the home position to a fixed distance, and it will not go past that distance. And it's programmed into the machine and into the controller. What I do is when we don't have the sensors, I will literally make the machine come to one corner and hard stop on it. So it's actually hitting the edge of the machine on both the X and the Y. I will zero my control out and I'll move it all the way to the far corner diagonally, and I won't hit it. If I hit it, I have to start over again. I will just nudge it so it's like within a point that much far away from the hard stop on the other side in X and Y, and I'll look at those numbers that are on my screen. And that's telling me my max X travel and my max Y travel. And those would be the numbers to plug in for surfacing anything on your machine when you can. That's how I do it. Okay, we're about 9:35. So I got got about 6 questions left. So any other questions, not going to do. Just remember, folks, down below in the description are links that we put in, and please take a moment to give us a couple of reviews. Oh, look at that! You guys are. I just looked at my phone. 8 reviews just came in. Okay, so yeah, Google reviews. Help us out here. Help a brother out for hanging with you on a Wednesday evening, and a sister out. Julianne is hanging out in the background there. All right, I'm going to handle these last 6 questions, and then I'm going to truck out. All right, so William, correction, no limits on the surfacing program. Yeah, there's no limits as far as I know. And then can you be too close to the edge when running surfacing? Well, so here's how you can do it. You put the surfacing bit in the tool and you move it back and forth, and you can eyeball. I've never run into a machine where the surfacing bit was too close to anything when it's maxed on all the travels. So thanks for finding that comment, Julianne. Okay. John, Julianne, what is the URL for IDC alt mill break-in video on YouTube? Did you find that already? You did not. Alt mill break-in cycle. Did you look for it? I'm sure you did. No? Yeah? I'll look for it in a minute here, John. Remind me, Julianne, when we finish these up. Let's see. This is my very first attempt to run any G-code. I removed the bit. I'm super new to CNC. John, welcome. Welcome, brother. You know what, Julianne? I think he gets a happy dance. Ready? So for our brother.
I'm looking for a link, and I got happy dance at the same time.
CNC here gets a happy dance. All right, there you go. Okay, cool. And yeah. So, and then John said, is SLB and VFD have been verified as good by PWN CNC? Okay. Boy, John, you've got all kinds of things going on here. They put it as a question. So the SLB is a super long board. That's what comes with the alt mill. The VFD is a variable frequency drive unit that runs a spindle. Have all been verified by PWN CNC. So PWN is a spindle supplier. If you want to upgrade like your long mill from a trim router or any other CNC router from a trim router to a spindle, PWN CNC has kits that are basically plug and play. And John will answer the video question here in just a minute. And then John just attempted to rerun some results with alarm 2, then the SLB disconnects. I would try another G code. All right. Try another G code and give that a whirl, my friend. If you are continuing to have issues, I would raise this with I'm assuming you haven't really created your own code. Like, actually, I'm going to show you what to do. Find the video that does the house number sign. Okay, and John, she's going to link that for you in the comments. It's using Vectric 11.5 as opposed to Vectric 12. So the layout will be a little bit different, but all the tools are all the same. It's a super, super easy program to run. What I would basically want you to do is, as a matter of fact, you give them the start here one. You need to run, just have your software design like a circle in your software, run a profile, and this video that she's going to put up will have that profile part in there, profile toolpath, and you got to run a different G code. We got to see what's going on. But you had an error, alarm 2, and I want to see what alarm 2 is. So let me search this real quick. I got a sheet that has all the alarms. Let's see where it is. we're trying to work with you, brother. So you got alarm 2. And alarm 2 is a soft limit alarm. The G code motion target exceeds the machine travel. So machine position. Okay. So you should probably want to move the machine and re-zero your X and Y a little bit. So basically what it's doing is reading the G code, and the code is telling it to move outside the bounds of the machine. That's what that alarm is. Okay, and then I've got a little donation here too. Southwest Softwatch, $5. I use a K12 unloader or regulator. I don't even know what a K12 unloader is. I don't know what that is. Or a regulator. I guess we're talking about air here, is my guess. And I am going to say I would probably venture towards regulators, but I don't know what we're talking about when you say that. So first of all, thank you for the $5, but I don't know the answer to that question there. Okay. And then, Robert, look at that. Talk about being bold, brother Robert. All right. That man gets an extra dance.
There you
go. Just for demanding it. Woo-hoo.
Love it.
Yeah. Kyle Ely will be with us next week to talk more Vectric. Every time Kyle comes on, I learn something new. It's so cool. That guy, he knows, think of Vectric as having multiple levels just for one tool, like the draw polyline tool. It's like he just goes so deep. There's nothing he hasn't been able to answer yet. Need new glasses, Garrett. Case 7. Need new glasses, Garrett? Let's talk about my glasses, my eyes, and all that good stuff. The ladies know what I have to deal with all the time. Yes, I can use new glasses all the time. All right, Robert, look at him saying, "Yay!" He's clapping for us. All right, next week, yep, Kyle will be here, and we're gonna have lots of fun with Kyle, learning more Vectric software. For those who are new, definitely show up next week so you can learn about Kyle and what he knows and how he teaches. And by the way, that link that we put in, that there's like this free trial that he has, so you can actually get a feel for what he's got. But next week, come in, ask your questions about Vectric. He will own the floor and answer your questions. We'll dive in deep with Vectric. So much fun. Anything else? Oz says Kyle is the best. Oz, you're doing awesome. And Robert says Kyle is a wizard. And Greg didn't say anything worthwhile.
I think he already left.
Well, there's a comment there, right there. He's like the 5th one up. Kimberly, I didn't say hello to Kimberly. Any update on the Vectrics? The update for version 12.5. Come next week when Kyle's here, Kimberly, and we will have a much better answer for you because Kyle is a beta tester. He knows all the secrets in Vectric. Even though we did get to see Vectric, Liberty and I, this past week, I never asked him when that was coming out. So, couldn't tell you. And, okay. We are going to check out, folks. I think that's about it. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you for the Google reviews. And yep, Julianne will make sure that those reviews get handled.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, with that, we will see you next Wednesday with Kyle Ely. Have a great week.